Hey guys, in this video I'm going to make a product review of the Technica AT-LP120 turntable. Now I just got this turntable recently and so far I'm very impressed with it, and I just want to show you around the turntable, identify certain parts, and then talk about what each part does in the turntable. So this top part is called the dust cover. It is clear, it kind of protects the turntable from dust and other things. So I'm just going to lift this dust cover so we can get inside the turntable a little bit and show you around. Alright, so the dust cover, like it says in the manual, opens up at a 45-degree angle, and in the package when you get your turntable you'll find these two hinges which slide into the turntable itself, and then you kind of slide or fit this dust cover on top of those hinges. And I find that this dust cover works really well, and it feels like a really great design for the turntable. So I'm just going to start off in this area, the bottom left hand corner, and let me zoom in. Alright, so I'm zoomed in. I'm at a little bit of an angle, but hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. So right here you've got a power switch. You can, if you plug in your turntable, it actually comes with a power cable that plugs into an outlet, and it goes right in the back of your turntable. Once you have that plugged in, you can move this wheel, the black wheel on top, clockwise, and then the turntable lights up. You've got this light right here, and some of the buttons have lit up. You haven't seen everything yet, but this is what you see right here. You have a start and stop button, which actually spins the platter once you hit this button. So these two buttons right here are you basically tell the turntable what kind of record you have, whether you're playing a 33 RPM record or a 45 RPM record. I'm pretty sure a lot of turntables have that option for you to choose from. So I'm going to move on to the next thing. Let's move on to the platter. Alright, as you can see, the platter does take up the most space because, of course, this is a record player. You've got this little slip mat on top. It says Technica. And then you've got this platter. You can actually take it off right here. But underneath, you can actually change the voltage. I find that pretty helpful in case you move this turntable to another country, and other countries might use different voltages than the US does, which I am at right now. Alright, so right here we actually have a target light, and this is a light you can use. I'm pretty sure it's just used to shine onto the record so you can see if there's any dirt or dust that you need to clean off. Of course, I recommend using this kind of cloth. I'm pretty sure you can also look up online what kind of cloth you would need to clean a record. But if you want to turn off this light, you just push it down, and to raise it back up, there's this little button right here, and that just brings it back up. Alright, so right here, you can hit this button to switch between like a 20% change in pitch or just a 10% change. I don't mess around with the pitch too much because the only reason I got this turntable is to import records into my computer. This quartz button actually locks the pitch. I find that pretty helpful, so I don't have to worry about the pitch changing. If you move this pitch control, this pitch slider, up and down, this basically changes the pitch. And when it's at the center, the light is green. But when you move it, it turns red because it is not the same pitch that the record was meant to play at. By hitting this quartz button, you have locked the pitch so that this light right here has remained green no matter what I do with the slider. This button above the pitch slider actually changes the direction of the direction that the platter spins. So it's basically going in reverse. So instead of playing from the outside towards the middle, you're playing from the middle towards the outside. Of course, I don't find that helpful because my only purpose of having this turntable is just to import records, not to mess around with stuff. Alright, so let's talk about the tone arm, the stylus, and the counterweight and everything else that is related to that. Alright, so I don't even know what to call this whole thing. Maybe it's the tone arm, maybe it has many different components. It's got this cartridge right here which contains the stylus and the needle, and then you've got the counterweight in the back, and there's this little mechanism right here. I'm actually going to zoom in on the different parts, specifically this part in front and this part in back. Alright, so this is the head shell, the metal part, and underneath it we have the cartridge which is attached to the head shell, and there are these wires that I believe run all the way through the tone arm and into like the whole turntable. So we've got the needle underneath. You can't really see it because of the way my the camera is aimed down at the turntable, but it's there, and you would just have the tone arm drop onto the record, and then the needle would pick up those sounds. So you've got this little head shell locking ring, and when you first open up your turntable from the package, you'll notice that this whole head shell is separate from the rest of this tone arm. And what you would do is just put that straight in and then turn the locking ring so that it locks into place. Now this part of the turntable gets a little bit more complicated. Right in back here you have the counterweight, which you would turn by using this black rubber part that's there to help you turn it. And then right in front of here is a little ring you would turn, which has numbers on it that indicate the number of grams that is applied to the tone arm. Now each turntable has a stylus that has its own recommended tracking force, so you would need to figure that out in order to balance the tone arm. And I'm not going to show you that right here. I'm going to make another tutorial about that, but you would turn this counterweight to adjust the tracking force. Now this black wheel right next to it, just like it says, is the anti-skate, and you would use this while balancing your tone arm. This lever right here is the cueing lever, and it raises up this little platform or this black bar, and when you unlock the tone arm so you can move this around freely in your turntable, you can actually have that on top of the cueing lever, so that when you want to play a record, you can just move the tone arm right above that spot on the record you want to start playing at. But the cueing lever, if it's raised, can help prevent it from actually hitting the record. And then when you want to lower it, you don't lower the tone arm, you lower this cueing lever, which drops it straight down onto the record, so the needle doesn't drag across the record or do anything else that could possibly ruin your record. So I like this feature of having the cueing lever here. It makes dropping the tone arm much more precise. Last but not least, you have this height adjust and this lock. I've never really messed around with it, so I'm not going to really get into it that much, but if you're interested, you can look up online, what is the height adjust, or you can actually read the manual for the turntable and figure out what that is. But since it's not important, I'm just not going to go over it. I don't feel like it makes a huge difference in the sound quality or anything like that. Alright, so that was pretty much it with my product review. If you feel like I should have gone over more things like the height adjust or anything like that, please let me know, and I'm more than willing to make another product review. But this is my product review for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my tutorial, which will be later.